Now, if you grew up or are growing up in a small, agrarian, largely self-sufficient community, you probably couldn't wait or can't wait till you're old enough to strike out on your own, leave the family farm, and go to Diamond City where you can eat noodles out of cups, or go to Good Neighbor and drink lousy beer, and if you're lucky and charismatic enough, maybe get to score with the lounge singer at the third rail. But if your only ideas of farm living are the romanticized notions you've gained from rereading The Art of the Commonplace by Wendell Berry, then you know that one of the joys of farm living is that families work and play together. The children in their work contribute to their own well-being and to the well-being of the people around them, and they enjoy it.
Well, hello.
Working on a farm is really boring.
Or maybe not.
Just so you know, I'm keeping my eye on you.
Hey, pal.
Hi, mister. Kids gotta earn their keep, too.
Well, she's got the idea. And in their play, too, they not only can learn how to manage the farm when it's their turn, they can also develop new skills to help them expand the productivity of the farm within the bounds of the natural environment. And it's in that spirit that Mr. Somerville and I wanted to build an activity for the children that would not only be fun, but help them how to learn how to make Somerville a more efficient farm. Now, if you look at Somerville within the buildable boundaries, there's not much arable land here. It's very hilly and rocky, not really suitable to more farming, or at least produce farming, but these hills might be a good place to raise livestock for grazing. And it's in that spirit that we built the Somerville Giddyup Buttercup Ranch. Little hitching post here for the ponies that we want to ride, and then behind this enclosed area is an area for buttercups to graze. There's a feeding trough here full of locally produced grains and fruits and vegetables. There's a Giddyup Buttercup water trough here using local water. There's land to graze up here. Now you can see already the ponies have kind of overgrazed this area, so we might have too many. There's about 2.5 dozen Giddyup Buttercups here. They're already moving in on these bushes. Now, one of the things we also know from farm living is that as safe as you try to make it, it's not always completely safe, and sometimes one of your ponies might suffer injury. And it's in that spirit that we've developed the Somerville Place Large Animal Veterinary Clinic over here in this new barn. Bring the injured ponies inside where the children can work on them, try to repair them using the most advanced equipment they could find laying around the house and in the workshop. Sometimes it works. Sometimes we can bring a pony back to health and send them back out to the fields. But sometimes we can't heal them, and they have to be led up this ramp onto that conveyor belt where they can be humanely disposed of. One of the other things we learn from The Art of the Commonplace is that the idea of waste is strictly an idea that comes from industrial capitalism, that in nature and in an agrarian community there is no such thing as waste, that everything cycles back into the land and back into productivity. So it's in that spirit that we built the Giddyup Buttercup Pony Processing Plant behind the veterinary clinic. What you do when you have enough deceased ponies, you flip this switch, and they begin moving along this conveyor belt into this recycler, where they are rendered down, not into adhesive and bone and hides, but into screws, gears, and eventually springs and pieces of steel, which then feed into this hopper where they can be reused in future products. Now, speaking of slaughterhouses, building the pony processing plant this close to the border provided another unexpected benefit. Having this building here kind of blocked the line of fire for the missile turret I had on top of the house, so I moved it up here, and I set up another one next to it, and from here, let me show you with a scope. These turrets are in line with the tomb of the unknown raider out here in the distance. When raiders start gathering there, these missile turrets fire on them, and so I think we might have eliminated raider attacks from north of Somerville Place. We're still going to have a concern with ghouls coming from the south, but we've got more defense in that direction as well. Now this pony processing plant is made possible by a couple things. Of course, there's the Contraptions Workshop DLC, and the recycler is made possible with a mod called Manufacturing Extended. It's by a producer named Kennington, and it provides one of the only actually useful contraptions I can think of, something that breaks down your junk into their constituent components. The reason I think that might be useful is I'm not sure when you're building things if, like say when you break down a pony for some springs, do you get the gears in your workshop and the screws and the other parts you don't use, or do those disappear? I've heard that they just disappear. And so one of the things I want to do to make my settlements generally more productive is I'm going to build another recycling plant to recycle all my junk from across the settlement so that I get both the maximum use out of the components, but also I'm hoping that reduces the actual size of my inventory so that I have more room to build on my settlements. That's an experiment for another day. It's probably the next thing I do. But in the meantime, thank you for watching.